organization. So it's my honor and pleasure this week to be interviewing three outstanding ICON agents. Michelle Sayward from Michigan, Joseph Trujillo from California, and Michelle Rinaldi from Florida. We have the USA covered today, don't we? Welcome, everybody. So before we get into the questions, I'd like each of the ICON agents to tell us specifically where you sell real estate, how long you've been in real estate and how long with eXp, and how to connect with you on social media so our listeners can connect directly with these superstars if they have any questions or need additional information from anything that comes up today. So I'm going to start with Michelle Sayward. Michelle is from Michigan. She has the award of 2-year running at eXp for the smallest team with the highest production. Her career is her passion, and she is blessed to do what she loves. Michelle, tell us specifically, where do you sell real estate? How long have you been in the business and with eXp, and how to connect with you?
Okay, thank you for that introduction, Nicole. That was very nice. Yes, I've been selling real estate since 2001. I sell in southeastern Michigan in a collection of communities known as downriver communities. We are downriver from the city. Yeah, I've been, last year we closed 189 transactions, and that was with one full-time buyer's agent, one part-time buyer's agent. My husband left his 20-year engineering career when we moved to eXp Realty, oh gosh, I just want to call it months ago, but 23 months ago. And that I share the same regret as Nicole, in that I just wish I would have heard of this company a little sooner. I think I answered some of the questions here. Maybe I'm missing one that Nicole wanted me to cover in the intro, but I hope that sheds a little bit of light.
Yes, perfect. That is amazing production. So Michelle Sayward, since we've got two Michelles today, how should people connect with you on social media or otherwise if they have any follow-up questions from what you visit about today?
Yeah, actually, I'll put my cell phone number in the chat box. I'm easily found on Facebook. It's pretty easy. Michelle Sayward or the Sayward team. So those are the best methods. So I'll just type I can't type my name in my thing in the chat box, but whatever, it's there. So I can, I'm easily found, I guess, on social media for Facebook.
Perfect. Well, thank you. Okay, next we're going to go to Joseph Trujillo from California. So Joseph is a branch manager and a team leader of a 34-agent team named California Homes Professionals, the #1 producing team in the Inland Empire. He is a father, husband, serial entrepreneur, and is immensely passionate about helping agents grow and build a better business. So Joseph, tell us specifically, where do you sell real estate? How long have you been in the business and with eXp, and how best to connect with you?
Thank you for that introduction, my friend. I really, really appreciate it. Good morning, everybody. Again, my name is Joseph Trujillo. I've been in the real estate industry for a whopping 5 years, and I joined real estate after completing about a 20-year federal executive career, and it's been phenomenal for me. I've been truly blessed. I operate an office out here in Southern California, in the Claremont Upland region with our team, our fabulous team. And I've been here with eXp about 18 months now.
Hey, good, Jeff. How you doing, sir?
18 months with eXp, and it's been fantastic. I'm going on my 2nd year as an ICON agent with this company. Tremendous value. It looks like somebody has their mic on, but aside from that, everybody can find me on social media. I'm easily found on different social sites. I just put it in the chat box, actually. I can be found at Joseph Trujillo at CA Homes Pro. CA Homes Pro, I put it in the chat box. So I look forward to connecting with each and every one of you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to present today.
Thank you, Joseph. That's wonderful. And that was a little indication of don't ever have your mic on whenever there's a group happening. But next we're going to come to Michelle Rinaldi from Florida. So Michelle and her husband, Paul, have a strong commitment to achieving results and working hard, leaving nothing to chance. Michelle, tell us specifically, where do you sell real estate? How long have you been in the business and with eXp? And how do we connect with you? Looks like Michelle said she is sorry she's lost her sound, so jump back in when you can. That's what we do here. We are agile. That's one of our core values. So when you get it back on, Michelle Rinaldi, just scoot back in. But in the meantime, I want to get to some questions. So Joseph, let's start with you. You mentioned you've been in business for only 5 years, yet you lead an agent team of 34. So talk a little bit about the structure of your business, solo team, obviously, et cetera. And then what's a typical production year for you?
Yeah, so initially when I came into EXP, I was operating primarily independently for my first year and started to grow the team little by little. My first year at EXP, I think I personally had about 53 transactions as an independent agent. One of our team members are fantastic, so they all carry their own production. This year, we're on track to hit a little over 60 million in production, which is really great. We have about 4 brokers on our team, a few team leaders, and we operate in a traditional model. I actually run the team as a self-organized team for now, and we primarily focus on residential real estate, although a few of our agents now are specializing in luxury and commercial as well. So it's been really dynamic for us. Since we opened an actual physical location here in Claremont Upland in January, and that is initially for the first couple months, pre-COVID, it had really propelled our opportunities to collaborate in kind of a hybrid model here in the region, where of course we dynamically grow virtually, but at times it was important for us to gather and grow our business with our buyers and sellers in the market, and also kind of leverage the location for attraction purposes and showing this great model to a lot of great agents in Southern California.
That's awesome. It sounds like you found your niche and the way to make your business work. So Michelle Rinaldi, are you by chance back? Okay, so if not, we'll come back to you. But Michelle Sayward, talk about the structure of your business and what a typical production year is for you.
Yeah, I've been kind of stuck at this production level for several years, between 180, 190 homes a year for like the past 3-4 years running. The reason that I found EXP to be so attractive was because I never really wanted to manage a big team of people. And so, that's why I always gravitated towards I call it keeping it lean and mean. I did 109 listings last year, probably around 20 buyer sales personally. And then my amazing buyer's agent, Amy, did about 50 transactions. And then we had another agent that was in the company that we just sort of dished off like another 10 deals to last year for overflow. Just stuff that we were too busy to handle or do. So that worked out really well. And now, of course, with EXP being the lovely model that it is, this has allowed me to, much like what Joe said, rediscover my passion for helping other agents grow. It's funny, I came across a video yesterday I posted on social media from about a year ago, actually. It came up in my timeline, and it went on to say that, prior to EXP Realty, if there was an agent asking me for information to share about how I grew my business, if it wasn't going to directly impact my bottom line, I really wasn't so interested in helping them, because there really wasn't that incentive behind it. So now with EXP, I've got, oh goodness, like 23 agents that I've been able to bring into the company, and I'm finding huge delight in helping them grow. And so where my focus is now is to helping those agents launch and be successful in their business, so that I can start to pull back on my volume, as Brent Gove says, maybe sell less homes on purpose. And I'm finding a lot of joy in helping those around me, raise up their production.
Michelle, that is awesome. Oh my gosh, if I could get stuck at 180 transactions a year, I think I'd be okay with that. I'm sure there's a lot of folks listening in that agree with the same. So I keep wanting to give Michelle Rinaldi an opportunity. Are you here?
I am. Can you hear me
Yay!
now?
Absolutely.
Yay!
So if
Oh
you'll
my
just kind of,
goodness.
it's all good. Hey, so this is what we do. So just if you would just kind of give us a little intro on how long you've been in business, how long you've been with EXP. Tell us specifically where you sell real estate, how to connect with you, and what your business looks like.
Sure. So, my name's Michelle Rinaldi. I live in South Florida. I specialize in oceanfront condo sales, condo specifically, but I mostly sell oceanfront property. Um, uh, what else did you want to know? Sorry. I'm still a little
How,
thrown that I couldn't have that I had no volume.
oh goodness. How
I've
long
been
have you
in
been in
Yes,
business?
so I've been in real estate for about 8 years. I got my real estate license in Florida when we relocated down here from Toronto. My husband's Canadian. I'm originally from New York. And yeah, I sell, I want to say between maybe 12 to 15 million a year. It's just me. I pretty much do everything. My husband got his real estate license, so he helps out a lot. But yeah, it's great. My market's a little bit different than everybody else's because I'm selling, second, third, fourth homes for people, mostly vacation. So a lot of my buyers and sellers are from out of the state and out of the country. So it's a little bit different of a market to be in, but I love it.
And Michelle, Michelle Rinaldi, how can people connect with you afterwards? Obviously, we have a variety of experience, we have a variety of team structures, and certainly geographical specialty. So it's important to be able to connect with us after all this. How is best to connect with you?
Like like by phone, like to
Well,
talk to me. I'm pretty easy to find.
perfect. Yeah, and maybe just put that information in the chat box so people
Okay.
can follow up with you on social media or what have you. Okay, so let's move on to our next question, which is, and I think this is going to be very impactful for a lot of folks who are listening today. Knowing what you now know, what is one piece of advice you would give to a brand new agent? So, Joseph, let's start with you.
I love that question. Knowing what I now know, I would say that what's probably most prominent for agents is to align your goals with your real estate business strategy. The one thing that I asked myself when I came into real estate was, what did I really want to achieve out of this professional career? And what I quickly realized is that, and what I've noticed in the industry out here in California, was that a lot of agents kind of get stuck in various stages of what they're trying to do next, systems, coaching, just copying what other agents were doing, instead of like taking like an action plan and really putting together a detailed real estate plan for themselves. So a couple things that I did was, the first step that I did was exposing kind of my why. Having the right mindset, I thought was crucial to having a successful career. So for me, a few things came to mind was, financial freedom, having a little bit of flexibility in my personal life, with my family, and of course, having a true purpose for my business. Another critical component of what I thought was going to be very important was having a real proper real estate education. And admittedly, I didn't have that at the independent company that I came from. It was kind of just run and gun. But here at EXP, I've taken full advantage of the free education, the learning that is being offered through our university and training. And it's one of the highlights that I impose amongst newer agents to immerse themselves in the free opportunities that we have here to learn and grow as independent agents. And the last step of that would be to really outline your goals, okay? And for me, I outline short-term goals, long-term goals. I have accountability teams that help us keep me on track, keep each other on track. And so just bringing that all together is what I would probably suggest and recommend that agents do right out of the gate.
Joe, that's awesome. Thank you. So, same question to you, Michelle Rinaldi. Knowing what you know now, what is one piece of advice you would give to a brand new agent?
I would say marketing for sure. I think that's huge. Years and years ago, I watched a documentary. I know it's going to sound funny, on Suzanne Summers, but she went from being the dumbest blonde on television to one of the most successful entrepreneurs in the health and wellness industry. It's because the way she marketed herself. So I think that when I first started, all the money that I made, I tried to put back into me and marketing me and conveying a message that I wanted out there. So I think that that's really important. And I think a lot of agents don't do that. And it wasn't something that um, I would have done even more than I did, but I just did as much as I could. So marketing, branding yourself, and just getting out there and letting people know who you are and what you do and why you're so amazing at it.
It's awesome. So Michelle Sayward, knowing what you now know, what is one piece of advice you would give to a brand new agent?
Yeah. Oh, my mic is like blinking. I don't know. Okay, I clicked my microphone on. It sounds like I'm on the ocean. Okay. Good advice. I think Joe and Michelle really give some great advice. And that, gosh, they're both great. What Michelle said is doing a little bit more shameless self-promotion. One of the best things you can do as a new agent is just really focus on what is, I'm sorry, it's really hard to hear. I hear myself talk. Really focus.
Michelle Rinaldi needs to mute.
Okay, there we go.
If Michelle Rinaldi mutes, it probably won't pick up.
Okay. Oh, perfect. That was it. Okay. Yeah. So advice that I would give is that when you're new and building your business, knowing what I know now, I agree with Michelle. I would do a little bit of shameless self-promotion, and just getting really intelligent about how you're, putting yourself out there in the world. And I definitely encourage, because that's how I built my business, doing it through the least expensive methods possible. So that is picking up the phone, and it's more than just texting and what you're doing on social media now. It's truly staying connected to your centers of influence, your sphere, making your life and your career really just one. My business coaches for years and years would say, I don't understand, Michelle, how you can say you made so few real estate, phone calls with, prospecting phone calls, and yet you're doing this production. It's because everywhere I go, I'm talking to people about real estate. I might even be at lunch and I'm having a conversation with the waitress that she's in a rental situation. So, and when does her lease run out? It just becomes organic and really part of you when you become really curious about other people. Another thing is, don't assume anything about anyone. Come and approach every conversation of people that you meet with an open mind and an open heart, because you would be blown away as to where those people can lead you. That waitress that you spoke to at lunch, for example, you know what? She might not be in a position to buy or sell a home right now, but you know what? If you treat her with respect and you open up the dialogue and do well, you'd be blown away at maybe who she knows and who she can put you in contact with that could really, change your career. So just keep the conversations engaged, always be open, and, put yourself out there as often as possible.
That's great advice. And along that same lines, let's talk about production. So when it comes to closing transactions, what is your most effective lead generation tool or process? So let's start with Michelle Rinaldi on that.
Okay, so you're asking me how I get leads?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do not all boo me in this room. Zillow. But I do. Sorry. Like I said, I sell to people who live outside of my state, and I sell to people who live outside of the country. And that's where they look. All my New Yorkers, people from New Jersey, California, that's where they're on. They're on Zillow, and I pay, and it does, I do amazing with it. Aside from that, because I've been around for, doing this for a little while, and I made a big name for myself, I do get referrals from the property managers in the buildings that I work in, and I do also get referrals. I send out mailers, paper mailers. People see those. When they don't get thrown in the trash, someone will call me. So it's kind of like a mixed bag of how I generate my leads. But I feel that depending on where everybody is and what industry they're or what their market is, different things will work. I don't do open houses. I don't cold call. I don't look for people at the grocery store. You know what I mean? It's just different where I am, but I think those things will work for other people in different markets. This is what works for me in my market, because again, my people aren't here. I can't go say, hey, let's have an open house and have people all come in, because literally nobody is here in South Florida right now, even without a pandemic, because it's, season's over. So I have to reach them through other avenues.
Awesome. And that makes sense. Like you said, we're all working in different markets. So if there's somebody listening who finds himself in the same situation you're in, then perhaps they can reach out to you for feedback. And by the way, I think Michelle Rinaldi would help if when you're not speaking, if the mic is off, that may help just a little bit.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. You're perfect. All right. So Michelle Sayward. So what is your number one or most effective lead generation tool or process?
I'm over 55% centers of influence. So when I was new, though, I had to build that business on for sale by owners and expired listings, because I didn't have that big of a sphere. So it depends, I think, on where you are in your career. I don't think Michelle Rinaldi should be embarrassed to say that she's still a subscriber to Zillow at all. I'm not a big spender at all with Zillow, but you know what? There's a good volume of calls that come in through that. So that for me is only maybe 16% of my business, but it's worth the ad spend. So you really have to just treat your business like a business and find out what is the lowest, cost per lead, and financially what makes sense. If you're brand new in the business, obviously you're going to want to call those lead sources that are free. If you can first, and then, worry about the other stuff later. So I
love that you know your numbers. How powerful is that? So thank you for sharing that. So Joseph, what is your most effective lead generation tool or process?
My most effective lead tool and process has been, and always probably will be, my sphere. Coming into real estate, the relationships I had built, over 20 years in military and in government service, was ones that I truly, truly valued. And carrying that into real estate, I already had, fortunately, a great community that already knew me. They already trusted me, and I've continued those relationships, continue to build them, and just continue to be an advisor for them in everything housing. And for me, that's been the biggest driver for our business. I've actually continued to show the agents on my team how to get into social circles of our friends, of our families, of people that we're close to, because those are the people that we're most connected with, typically, especially in social dynamics, right? Social media. And the social media has now converted into being a really, really big driver for my business as well. I think last year I had like 10 deals from Instagram alone, which has been pretty great. So collectively, using all of those and just treating people right, taking care of good people, it's kind of the gift that keeps giving. So that's been my number one tool.
That's awesome. So Michelle Sayward, we're going to start with you on this question. Where do you invest in yourself and your education and coaching?
Oh boy, did you ask the right person that question. I'm a coaching and education junkie. Really, I am. I don't, I feel like I'm probably the best person to answer that. I've been in coaching my entire career. I started off with the Mike Ferry coaching. I'm still involved in that organization, and that's been since 2001. I was only 6 months in the business when I got a coach. And I've got another coach right now too, because I'm starting to focus more on the building my brand and social media and that aspect of it. That's something that I really didn't see much value in before. So now I'm starting to build that. So I have two coaches right now. Every morning I start off by, journaling, reading something good, trying to focus every single day on learning something that I don't know, even if it is today printing when there's no color ink in the copier, learning something new about that and how to troubleshoot it. But yeah, It's just a daily practice. To me, it's exciting because I have another opportunity to grow in another way and to build my business. And I truly believe that the more educated you become, the greater your income will go up in your specified field.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I think we may be one and the same person. You just do more production than I do. Okay, so next, Joseph, answer that question for us. Where do you invest in yourself and your education and training?
Yeah, so when I came into the industry, at my independent company, we had zero coaching, zero training. So I had to invest in myself, and I was actually at Tom Ferry, with Tom Ferry's group for several years. Learned a lot of great real estate, practices and procedures that I was able to implement into my business. That was fantastic. I did that for several years, and then what I realized was that I wanted to get some mentorship outside of real estate, just to get different perspective, different business models, mindsets. And over the last several years, I've been taking on mentorships from people that I've known in corporate environments, military environments. I'm actually in the process of transitioning amongst mentors as we speak. So I'm trying to interview a few people. I try to keep mentors for no longer than 12 months, just to stay fresh, just to stay sharp. I let that be known in the beginning. Just because I want to continue to learn from great people continuously. So that's what I've done.
That's awesome. So Michelle Rinaldi, where do you invest in yourself and your education and coaching?
Okay, so when I first started real estate, it was all trial and error for me. I mean, I was a total shit show. I can't find a better word for it. All of my fails and all of my mistakes taught me what not to do. As I moved on. And after I was in real estate, maybe about 2 years, I became, I started working on a team with like the #1 condo sales producer in my area. And I just absorbed and listened and watched every single thing he said and did. And after 2 years, I kind of went out on my own and then put my own spin to it. I just recently got a coach, but it's because I just finished writing a book on the truth about buying and selling real estate, and I'm creating a course on how to sell condos. So I need him to help me in that avenue. Other than that, I a lot of what I do in my real estate business, like I said, I learned through trial and error. I'll never forget the big agent that I kind of mentored under for those 2 years. He had said to me, he goes, "Wow," he goes, "you are really gonna learn all your hard lessons right in the beginning of your career, and then it should just be smooth sailing." And it was true. It was, and I'm thankful for those lessons, but it was a rough go in the beginning.
Thanks for keeping it real, Michelle, right? Because we all have to start somewhere. So thanks for sharing that. So moving on. So when you're okay, we're all in some of you in different seasons as far as business. Every once in a while, you may have experienced that business was falling behind. Like maybe you weren't get the results you had in the past. So I'm going to start with you, Joseph. When or if you find your business falling behind, where do you go for a booster?
When business falls behind, can always rely on, for me, it's friends and family. Going around, just coming from a place of value and checking in on them, especially now during these past months of COVID. Everybody's had a captive audience, and I've really gone out of my way to call almost every single person I know. I mean, reaching out to them and calling them. Like text messages, cool. I love it. I'm a text junkie. But there's nothing like, getting a little old fashioned and talking to people, because when they hear your tone, when they hear that you're coming from a good place and you don't have commission breath and you're not asking for business and transactions, I think, coming out of this, it's going to be able to give you a different kind of perspective in relationships. People will remember who reached out to them, who communicated with them. So for me, that's where it's always been. It's picking up the phone, getting a little old school, calling people, checking in on them, and then also just being top of mind. So when they do need a carpenter or somebody to put tile or something regarding insurance, something housing, knowing that I'm that go-to person, I know in the long run I'll be the go-to person for business. So, and the other big thing for me is just strategizing my business. Those of us that are able to transact, we know it's predictable. We know that what we have in our pipeline is going to bear fruit in 30 or 45 days, 60 days, whatever that is, and just keeping that pipeline consistently full is something that I pay almost complete attention to every single day. So that's what's been working for me.
It's awesome. I love that commission breath. It definitely repels people, doesn't it? So, Michelle Rinaldi, so when you found your business falling behind, where do you go for a booster?
The bar? No, I'm kidding. Just kidding. No, I'm steady. If for some reason, it's been steady the past couple years, so I'm really thankful about that. But I will go back to my database. And I will maybe send out a blast email. I might double up on a mailer, to try to generate some listings. I mean, pretty much the basics is what I'll do, and then I just appreciate the slowing down time, because then I can check in on life and not be so all consuming. It's a blessing and a curse to just be so overwhelmed. So I kind of just, I know in my mind it will it's just like a wave, and you just ride the wave. So when it slows down, like, just appreciate that. Like, that's not a bad thing, and then it'll pick up, and then everything is fine. But yeah, I think just going back to the database would be like the answer you're looking for. But the reality is I just take it in stride, and I know moving forward that everything's going to be fine.
I love the analogy to the wave. That is so true. So, Michelle Sayward, when your business is falling behind, where do you go for a booster?
When my business is falling behind, I literally throw what I call my real estate temper tantrum. Let's start with that first. And my real estate temper tantrum goes like this. I want what I want, when I want it, and I want it right now, which means business. And then I literally have to shake my head no and realize this is not about me, it's about service. And I then immediately think, get out of my own head, get out of my own problems, and get into somebody else's problem and help them solve their problem. And that is me really just reconnecting with, people who need to buy and sell, jumping on the phone. Really, I'm not like I'll send out like a campaign here and there, like through KV Core or something, or, or mailers or whatever, but it's really picking up the phone and reconnecting with people to see how I can serve. And so whatever my business needs a boost, I just have to remind myself that that's a little poo-poo party that I'm playing with myself. And it's not about me, it's about other people. And it will completely change my mindset when I get out there and start serving again.
That works. That's awesome. So, for those, as far as giving value to the folks who are listening, in addition to some of the things we've already talked about, so I'm going to start with you, Michelle Rinaldi. So is there a business or life book or podcast that you recommend everybody be aware of and follow, and why?
Okay, so I read a book several years ago called Raving Fans by Ken Blanchard. It's an easy read. It won't take long. But I feel that book really encompasses how we should be as real estate agents. I believe that if I go out with my real estate cape on and fight for my buyer to get the best price and beat up the other agent, and and they walk away saying, yeah, we just bought this place for $15,000 under the appraisal value, I created so much stress and unpleasantness. That's what they're going to remember, not, so I believe that in real estate, to have someone who has thoroughly enjoyed the process and just found it to be a bloody good time is going to be, you know, your raving fan, and that's what you're looking for. You're not looking to be a superhero, and I think that this book kind of encompasses that. So yeah, I would say read this book. I know there's going to be a plethora of other books you hear by, you know, all these other top real estate agents and blah, 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 and grow a team and do this and do that. But I really think at the end of the day, you just, you need to really tap into who you're working with and relate to them and let them fall in love with you and want to refer you to their family and friends.
That's a great book and so true. So Michelle Sayward, what about you? Book or podcast that you'd recommend?
I love what she just said. I just clicked on Amazon and I put raving fans in my search bar. I'm going to check that out. I completely agree. We are EXP and we are to be nice, period, all the time to everyone, all sides. Win, win, win. I believe in that. What podcast books? Oh God, I can give you such a long list of books. I'm a big reader. I'm trying to think what was like some that were really impactful and you know, big for me. I just finished the Energy Bus this week, by the way, and he's going to be speaking at our at our shareholders event. So that was really fantastic. I'm looking at my bookshelf right now as I'm talking to you. Oh gosh. I'm right now I'm reading, what am I reading right now? What is that book? I don't even know. Grab it. I just constantly read all the time. What did I finish? I'm struggling with this right now because I have so many. God, I'm looking at, let me see here. I'm grabbing my library. The Wealthy Gardener was fantastic. What else am I into right now? Surrounded by Idiots is great to understand personality styles, if you want to know them. Beyond Positive Thinking, that's the paper copy book I'm reading right now. Audible is my friend. Anything Audible all the time, that's just plug something in your ears, even if it's YouTube every morning. Find something positive.
Completely agree. Thank you for that. So what about you, Joseph? Books or podcasts?
Well, I do read books, but I'll throw a podcast out there that I'm really passionate about. It's Ed Milet's podcast. I'll actually type his name in here for those of you that want to dial in on him. It's not like specific to real estate, but the guy's phenomenal when it comes to business mindset. He's a big motivational coach. He has a real strong sales background, and I always get so many great takeaways, a lot of golden nuggets that he drops. I would encourage you guys to take a tune to him, pull him up on your podcast. He has everything in there from athletes to business owners, plethora of just phenomenal people that he interviews, and they're always just dropping just crazy knowledge. What I really like about his podcast too is just that he is so insightful about, not working for other people per se. And I correlate that, I relate that to what we got going on here at EXP with our agent-centric model, our ownership opportunities. For me, it just kind of goes full circle. So I highly recommend Ed Milet for you guys.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. I'm going to circle back on that for a second. But Michelle Sayward, I'm going to start with you on this next one because you referenced something that I wanted to run with a little bit, and that is the morning ritual that you have. So I'm curious to find out if you have any specific rituals, routines for your life and or business, and if so, what that looks like.
Sans COVID-19, yes. That's been a real game changer here in Michigan, being non-essential. That'll change your routine quite a bit. But yes. For many, many years, and even still, I'm up early. Don't judge me, people. Like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm up. And then I head out the door straight to the gym. I'm usually back by like 6:30 or so. I will do a jump in the shower, do a little bit of reading. Then I meditate. I believe in TM, transcendental meditation. I'll do my 20 minutes of TM and a little bit of journaling. Then maybe a little bit of positive reading. I'm constantly playing a a book, an Audible, or a podcast, or a anything while I'm getting dressed in the morning. And then I'm on the phones pretty well every day. I'm kind of leisurely getting dressed in the morning, and breakfast and dishes and maybe a little laundry and stuff like that. But I get on the phones. Honestly, my goal is 9, but it typically ends up being 9:30. And then I'll be on the phones until around 12:30, prospecting and returning phone calls. I eat lunch all the time at 1 o'clock, 12:30, 1 o'clock. And then I'm on the road on appointments until about 7. And it's such an ingrained pattern of behavior that even during COVID-19, I could barely be in my house after 1 o'clock. It felt just so foreign to me after being in that routine for so many years. So yeah, it's really weird that, how trained we can become and disciplined in our schedule, even if you try to resist the schedule. I find myself craving it back nowadays.
Exactly. But having a ritual even during COVID-19, I'm sure it's been so beneficial. So Joseph, what about you? Do you have any specific rituals, routines for your life or your business?
So I follow a really regimented ritual for my mornings. It's the same almost every single day, but it's been working for me for a few decades now. I'm a 0 dark 30 guy, so whenever always up before the sun, and I go through an affirmation, prayer, get the day started on the right foot. Just trying to be mindful of everything that's going on personally. Before I turn to business, and I have an early morning with my kids. My daughter helps me make coffee first thing in the morning, get her going on cartoons, and then get her day started as well. So that's where my day usually starts before I turn to business. But by 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm already dialing in, and I got my whole day planned out for me, and that's what usually helps me with my morning routine.
Excellent. So Michelle Rinaldi, are you a morning person, or what other specific rituals or routines do you incorporate into your life and business?
I have no choice but being a morning person because I have these little creatures that live in my house that call me mom. So it's almost like I'm forced to wake up and deal with them. So they're my they're my get out of bed. I am not as structured as everybody else on this panel is. I wake up probably at 7:30, make myself a cup of coffee, see what hell my children are getting into, and then I check my email. That's the one thing that I will do before I start my day. I check my email because, like I said, I've got people in other countries that are reaching out to me, or, maybe a mortgage lender got back to me and I was sleeping, and I just want to know kind of what's on my plate that I haven't already planned for. And then I'll kind of start my day before the kids would get out of the house by maybe around 7:30, and then it would be a bit more quiet. And now that they're home, I work with a 2-year-old on my lap sometimes. So my days are different. Some days I have a couple listing presentations to go on. Other days I've got an inspection. You can't plan your day. The one thing about real estate that that is consistent is inconsistency. So I learned that early on when I gave birth to my first daughter. Like, you can't control anything. So I just let it go. And what will be. I might have all these ideas. Yeah, I'm going to get all this done today. Boom, boom, boom. And by 4 o'clock, I'm like, all right, you know what? Let's just make a drink and chill, because I didn't do it, and I'm not going to beat myself up about it, because tomorrow is another day.
You are speaking the language of a lot of folks out here. So again, thanks for keeping that real. So switching gears just a little bit, EXP obviously is a big give back kind of environment. We attract agents who serve, and certainly giving of your very valuable time today is awesome. So in the context of community involvement or service, what does that look like in your world? Let's start with Joseph. What does that look like in your world, and what role does it play in your life and business?
So our give back here, it's a team effort. Going that to attraction, one thing that we're really passionate about out here with our agents is ensuring that like no agent essentially is left behind. And we do that by not just attracting agents to the company and letting them kind of veer off on their own. One thing that I quickly realized as being an icon is through the mentorship programs that, there are a lot of agents that are joining this company organically, and the alignment maybe just not be in place for them. And I think it stunts their opportunity to grow. So here in the region, aside from volunteering for a bunch of mentorships, we make sure that everybody that comes into our organization, into our culture, that we're just constantly loving on them and helping them build, helping them grow, giving everything that we can to them, inviting them to our office, meetings, personal time, all that kind of stuff. It goes full circle. And I know locally we've created a leadership culture as well, where as we develop great leaders within this company, they're also spreading the good word. And that constant giving back to them has enabled us to grow tremendously here in Southern California. We have a lot of great groups, a lot of great leaders joining, and the momentum is just so contagious. So that's one thing that we give back is way more than just attraction. We make sure that it's culturally driven and that it's cohesive with everything that we got going on here at EXP.
Fantastic. So, Michelle Rinaldi, what about in your world? Obviously, you have your hands full. What kind of community involvement service and what role does that play in your business and your life?
So in my local community, where me and my husband are foster parents, so we actually adopted our 2-year-old daughter, and we were very involved in the foster community. Obviously, where I live, it's a very affluent area, but there's a very, very poor area as well, and I didn't know that, but once I did, I wanted to be involved. Aside from that, when I first started out in real estate, it just seemed like nobody would authentically help me. They always wanted something, a piece of my commission to be on their team, or they wouldn't tell you who their photographer was. Like, I was so lost. And in my mind, I like sharing my knowledge. I like helping people. I literally just got a call yesterday from an agent at EXP, a friend of mine, and she was all panicked because she thought she was going to lose one of her listings. The seller was going to pull it. And I said, let's talk. I've got, this is what, I told her what she should say. I gave her some new marketing strategies that she could present to her seller. And she texted me later and she's like, thank you so much. I got them to extend. So that makes me feel good about me that, I'm happy to help anybody. You know what I mean? I've got agents that want to maybe make an offer on my listings. And I'm like, this isn't going to work, but hey, call me. I can help you in another area, my listing or not. You call me. I'm just so willing to help anybody who asks for it, because I know what it feels like to just kind of be lost out there and not have anybody genuinely want to see you succeed. So I really appreciate the collaboration at EXP, because there's a difference between camaraderie and collaboration, and EXP has collaboration, and a lot of other brokerages, they just want the camaraderie and the woohoo, come to the sales meeting, eat bacon, blah blah blah, here's an award. And it's not the same. It's very different.
That's exactly right. Oh my gosh, you put it so well. So, Michelle Sayward, what are your thoughts about community involvement service and how that shows up in your business and in your world?
Community involvement and service. Community involvement, one of the things that I do is, which I found out pretty great, I found out sort of like through a weird turn of events, but is that our local fire department, they're so easy to work with, and they're super appreciative. And it also, it's great to do number one, but they endorse and give big thanks back to us for, giving them support. I've started doing that just a couple years ago. And the reason that they're so easy to work with is fire departments don't have a lot of red tape to go through. It's not like a PTA where you have to get all the parents involved or other classes and the principal and all this other stuff at a school. Fire departments will take, gifts that, Santa delivers on the fire truck, or the Easter bunny can give out, or whatever. They take all kinds of stuff. They take canned goods, they take financial donations, they run drives, they have pancake breakfast, they do, and all of this stuff. If we're promoting them and helping them get traffic to their event, they're promoting us back. So it's really great for the local community, just from a win-win standpoint. And they, like I said, they just make your life really easy. Community give back. I said at the beginning of this, I just like Michelle Rinaldi, she said it perfectly, like something so stupid. Hey, who's your photographer so I can get my listing sold? You would never, ever find out about that from another real estate agent in your local market. And I'm giving a lot of that information away. This is why I'm focused on trying to build through social media, because I'm focused on selling culture and sharing right now. And the only way you can quote unquote sell culture is for people to experience what you're giving them and how you're mentoring and how you're leading them. So if I can present that out through a social media platform, then people are going to realize, oh my God, Michelle Sayward is this local new broker in town. She is like giving away so much information for free to local agents to elevate their business. What the hell am I doing as their current broker? How am I going to top that? She's a top producer and she's giving her pre-listing package away to competitive agents that don't even work for her company. She's hosting classes that, other real estate agents in our local market that don't belong to EXP can come sit in on. She's doing all these classes online. How can I compete with Michelle Sayward? So I want them to realize they can't. I'm going to give it all away, and it's going to be for free.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. Well, I'll tell you what, it looks like we're down to probably just time for one more question. So I want to leave this with a punch and give everyone information they can really run with. So I'm going to start with you, Michelle Rinaldi. And so leaving us with, what is the one thing every agent should do right after they finish listening to this to move their business forward today? Michelle Rinaldi.
What is the one thing that they should do to move their business forward? After listening to this, after listening to me, I don't know. I would check your databases. I mean, if you have listings, you know what? Reach out to your sellers, not for any reason, but just to say, hey, just wanted to check in, see how you're doing, and if they ask you a question, you can answer it. And if you maybe I don't know, I would just check in with your database would be the simplest, quickest thing that you can do. It's Friday, so don't kill yourself today trying to be a superhero.
Awesome. Thank you. So Michelle Sayward, what would you say that the one thing every agent should do right after they finish listening to this to move their business forward?
Get on the phone. That's it. You guys know who you're supposed to be calling. You know who right now might be a need to buy or sell. Kick up old leads if you can't think of anyone. Get on the phone. You can set an appointment today with someone who needs to buy and sell if you commit yourself to make that happen. Period.
Awesome. Sometimes the simplest is the easiest, right?
Yeah,
So Joseph, what about you? What is one thing every agent should do after they finish listening to this to move their business forward?
You guys need to self-evaluate your business, where you're at, where you're going, what's not working for you. If it hasn't been working in these first few months, here's a perfect opportunity to regroup, create anew, go out there and try something different, propel yourself, align yourself with great leaders, continue to press your business forward. But that all starts with self-evaluation. That'll be the foundation for you creating some clarity in your business and knowing where you want to go and what you need to do to get there. And then reaching out to people, everybody. You guys are always more than welcome to tap into me directly, but I know you guys are surrounded by some great leaders in your organization, so utilize them, leverage them when you have to, and continue to press forward in the most positive manner possible.
Y'all, thank each and every one of you for taking the time to listen in today, and most especially to our rockstar icon agents, Michelle Sayward from Michigan, Joseph Trujillo from California, Michelle Rinaldi from Florida. We had a great spectrum of perspective and information, and hopefully some really solid takeaways that each and every one of you can bring to your business, bring value to your business. My name's Nicole Smith Woodard. I am in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and would love to connect. And if there's anything that I can do for any of you, please do let us know. So thank you all again. Hope you have a fantastic Friday. Look forward to seeing each of you at Shareholders next week.
Awesome.
Is there anything else I need to do? Thank y'all.
Great day.